Welcome to Crowdin Power Up, where we dive into the most exciting and innovative features on the Crowdin platform. Good morning from sunny and cold Texas. I hope it's a little bit warmer in Amsterdam. How's the weather in Amsterdam, Dorota?
Good afternoon. It's cold, but cloudy. But it's
Cold
a nice
and cloudy. All right. We're here for the next episode of the Crowdin Power Up series. What do you have in mind for us this afternoon?
So today we're going to show you something that we are extremely excited about, which is the new app, new Crowdin app called AI Pipeline. So this is Crowdin's answer to the real challenges that clients have been reporting around translation with AI, such as inconsistent glossary usage, ignored style guides or hallucinations, or models that were simply overwhelmed because we provide very long instructions and too much context. So in short, AI is powerful, but it might be unreliable when we overload it. So the new app, so AI Pipeline, fixes exactly that issue. So maybe let's start. Yeah. So let's start with the why. Why this app? So we saw a clear pattern in client feedback and also in internal testing. So AI sometimes ignores terminology or uses it inconsistently. Long instructions cause AI to drop towards the end of the prompt. And sometimes style guides are not followed or are followed only partially. Also, screenshots are ignored because the request is too big. And the longer the output, the more the quality drops towards the end. So the problem wasn't the model, of course, but the workflow. And until now, most AI translation look like this. So you send one giant request, you say, translate this, follow this glossary, use that style guide, consider screenshots, avoid hallucinations, keep consistency. That was a lot. So unsurprisingly, AI was often struggling with such a long request. It was simply too much. Now, with the AI pipeline that I'm going to show you in a bit, the whole scenario is flipped. So instead of one huge request, we use a controlled sequence of small, specialized steps that are focused on one task. So AI can translate and then self-check and then correct itself. So this
Certainly
is like
a lot of people will recognize this from the daily usage and interaction with chatbots like ChatGPT and other AI chatbots, that you get better results if you give shorter instructions and feed shorter chunks of content. So this is very interesting. Go ahead. Sorry, I rudely interrupted you.
So AI pipeline breaks this process, as you said, in small tasks, so we can have more control and we have more predictable results. Let me show you how it works in action. So when you install the app, AI Pipeline, you have to create your first workflow, your first prompt. You have to choose AI Pipeline here above. And you can use one of the templates that you can see here. So it could be UI localization or docs translation, or you can create your workflow from scratch. Let's start with UI localization. This is the default workflow. It's very straightforward, very interesting as well. Let's go check these steps one by one. So first we have content extraction, then translation, contextual appropriateness check. First I will give it a name. So before you do anything, let's name our prompt, our pipeline. I will create it. It will be saved in my prompt library. So if I want to edit it, I have to go back to my library and find it. And now I will show you what's inside every step one by one. So first comes context extraction. So that's when AI looks at the screenshots and source file. And it's very important here, we have this reasoning effect. We keep it to none to avoid unpredictable behavior and simply for faster workflow. Maybe you can choose a reasoning effort if you want to have some deep grammar check, for example. But for now, we keep it to none. This is the default prompt. It's very detailed. You can use it or you can tailor it to your own project, to your own needs. The next step is translation in our process. So once the context is clear, AI will do translation. Again, we keep reasoning effort to none. This is the prompt. So it tells me about consistency rules. It tells me, it tells AI to use translation memory, and there are some quality checks as well. Again, you can modify this prompt if you want to.
So Crowdin has a series of prompts at the ready, and if you don't want to change anything, you can just leave it the way it is, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yes. You can use it as it is, or you can adapt it to your needs, or you can delete it and create your own from scratch. So the next step after translation in our pipeline, we have here contextual appropriateness check. What's that? Well, here the idea is that we want to make sure that the text is contextually relevant, such as, there's domain-specific terminology, or maybe appropriate tone, or we want to make sure that the text fits the UI. That's very important, because sometimes we can't translate UI when we can't see it in real life on screen. So AI helps us to achieve more contextually appropriate translation here. Next comes proofreading. So typical proofreading steps here. Again, you can correct this prompt. You can adjust it to specific language, for example. Here in the prompt, we will check for tags, placeholders. So we'll check for spell check, any other issues. Next, we have glossary check, and that's why AI pipeline helps us to follow glossaries and style guides more accurately, because we have separate steps for this. So here AI will check if all the terms were used correctly. If not, it will fix it. And finally, the last step in our pipeline is crowding QA check. So we have added one final QA step to make sure there are no mistranslations, no omissions, and that everything reads well, and there are no missing tags, no length, that length limits are respected, for example. So this is our final QA check. Now, these are all default prompts. As I said, you can you don't have to come up with anything new. You can use them. You can adapt them to your project. You can create your own unique prompts. Now, to run this workflow, we will have to go back to our file in our project. So we'll translate mobile app strings into Dutch. So something for you first. And we will have to go to pre-translation here above, then choose via AI. And then in the AI prompts above, we will see our prompt. So that's the pipeline we have just created. I named it mobile app translation. Here it is. I'm selecting it. Then I will select the language. And then we will have to click pre-translate with AI. Now, this will take some time. So AI pipeline is slower than Agentic AI or pre-translation with MT, because it runs more steps. But as a result, you achieve better quality and better accuracy. So as this is still running, I will pause for a minute and I will come back once this is ready.
If I can quickly ask, so when you click this button, it goes through all 6 or 7 steps that you just illustrated, and it's doing the whole thing in one go, and that's why we're waiting a little bit right now, because it's essentially prompting the AI engine 6 or 7 times.
Yes, correct. So we have chosen our prompt, and that prompt was the pipeline, so it runs according to that prompt. It goes through the whole pipeline. And now we are back. We can see that the pre-translation is ready. So it took about 3 minutes to run my workflow with 200 words of mobile app strings. But you will see in a minute that it's worth waiting, because the quality is very good. So first we will check for terminology, if our terminology was correct. So this was the file with the terms that I have uploaded to the project. A very short list, but let's see if AI followed our terms, our glossary. For example, I will check for these 3 terms. Cool down was translated as afkoelen, correct. Opwarmen, I wanted it to be warm up. I wanted to be as opwarmen. It is there. And finally, recovery mode is also translated as herstelmodus, as I wanted, based on my glossary. So on the glossary side, everything is fine. The pipeline followed my instructions. Everything looks okay. There are no QA issues. We didn't add any style guide. We will do it in the next experiment. And
for the viewers that are wondering, Dorota speaks perfect Dutch. which is an amazing fact by itself. But as a Polish speaker, I'm blown away. That's really impressive, Dorota. I'm having a blast every time I hear you speak Dutch. Go ahead.
Thank you. So yes, so AI pipeline created decent translation. Well, we still need a linguist, of course, to have a look at the final text to make sure everything is top-notch. But in general, it's a very good quality, so we don't need much work here. We could also add a style guide here. We'll do it in the next step. So just let's briefly recap the key benefits. So with AI pipeline, we get significantly better results because AI works in several steps, and for every step we have a different process. Yes, so that's why our glossary is actually respected. Style guides are not optional anymore; they are always respected. There are fewer hallucinations, and there's also better consistency across paragraphs, documents, or even files. And I have mentioned earlier that there are a few templates you can choose. So we have looked now at UI localization, but there's also document translation. So why these different templates? Well, because UI strings and long-form documents require different approach and different AI behavior. For example, in UI localization, we need extra context, such as screenshots and key metadata. So this pipeline that did exactly this, it extracted the context first, it could understand what appears on screen, then it could translate and check whether the translations make sense in the UI. So I showed you the UI mode, now let me show you the document translation. I will go back to my add prompt. I have to choose AI pipeline again. And here's the template for docs translation. Let's have a quick look. It's very straightforward. So we have initial translation, file consistency check, proofreading, glossary check, and Crowdin QA check. But I've told you also we can create the pipeline from scratch. So let's do that now. We don't have to follow the template.
Great.
We can create our own pipeline. So when you hit on create pipeline, you have several steps to choose from. Well, there are 4 steps. You can change them, you can customize them, and they also come with default prompt. So I will choose AI translation first, and I will name it pre-translation because that's what I want to do first. I will tweak one thing in the prompt. I will add my style guide. So I will tell AI, for example, how to translate specific terms. I will give it examples of phrases or specific vocabulary I wanted to use for translation, because now we'll be translating a manual, an e-bike manual from English into Polish this time.
I'll be lost, you'll be fine.
So I'm giving it some examples of how to translate specific phrases. I wanted to use active voice. And I'm saving this step, and I will create the next step now, which will be proofreading. So I used AI correction as that step, but I'm naming it proofreading. I like this prompt, so it will check for any QA issues. And now I want to use glossary check. There's no step saying glossary check, but again, I will use AI correction, the default prompt, but I will modify it so that it can be suitable for my glossary step. So here I changed the prompt. I want AI to make sure that it uses my terminology attached to this project, and if there are any errors, I wanted to fix these errors. I'm saving this step, and now I will go ahead and create one more step, which will be Crowdin QA check. So it's like our final QA check. Here we are checking for mistranslations, omissions, and once again we are making sure that everything reads well. You can also change the order of these steps. Here there's an extra drop-down saying place after, so you can put this step somewhere else in the workflow. So this will be our one more thing. You can also assign different languages for every step. So here's this the little drop-down for languages. I could only choose one or two language for this step. So you can also create steps that will be specific to a selected language. So you don't have to run all the steps for all languages. You can make some steps only for specific languages. Now I have added my style guide to the pre-translation prompt. I could also maybe create a separate step for it, but let's have it in pre-translation. I will save this prompt. And now let's go ahead and run it on my manual. So I have a different project here that will be electric bike manual. I'm going to pre-translate with AI. Again, I have to select my prompt, the one I have just created, the pipeline. This is my language, and this is pre-translation with AI. We have to wait until it's ready. And now we can see that the pre-translation is ready, so our pipeline was executed. And let's have a look inside here. So I can already see that the terminology was used correctly. Quick look at my glossary. So I had only 5 terms. I will quickly run quick check. So I can see that the main control button was translated correctly. The same goes for the disc brakes. And we have one more term. There was a torque sensor, so it was also translated correctly. And finally, the assist mode, also according to the glossary, it was translated as tryb wspomagania. So on the terminology side, again, everything sounds good. Again, I can see that AI followed my instructions. It also followed my style guide, because there was one bit when I said that I want, in the style guide, I said that I want any phrase that has touch button or tap the button or press the button to be translated as push button, literally in Polish. And so it did. The tapping the button here, well, tap the mode selector is translated literally as push the button, which is according to my style guide. That's fine. There's only one little thing that I didn't mention in the prompt. So I didn't say in the prompt that I want this translation to be gender neutral. And that's why it's not gender neutral. But that's okay, because I have a linguist in my workflow that can help me. Also, this is this little string with male verb form. So this is only good for the male user, not for female. It's not gender neutral, but that's okay. That's why I have a linguist who will run the review to make sure everything is correct. So again, AI followed my instructions correctly. It used the style guides, and we only need minimal intervention of a linguist. So in any case, even if the result seems spectacular, it's always a good idea to have a linguist in this process. So now we mentioned, we mentioned briefly that this workflow differs from other AI workflows or pre-translation methods. So
I was just thinking the Agentic AI one that we reviewed not too long ago. Maybe you can show us the difference.
Yes, exactly. I will show you the difference in a second. I just wanted to highlight that although this process is slower, so that the fact that this pipeline, the whole AI translation pipeline, is broken into steps, it means that AI can repeat itself and it can focus on different area in every step. So we don't overwhelm AI with too many instructions. So it is slightly slower than Agentic AI, for example, but it's worth waiting for the results. And now let's compare these results. So this manual translated with the AI pipeline with results created by Agentic AI steps here in Crowdin. So again, I have the same text. I have also uploaded my style guide as a separate document here. I will call the Agentic AI box. So here I'm asking, please translate all segments in this file, use terminology attached to the project, adhere to the style guide described in the style guide document, and I will even I will check this document here. I will tell AI where that style guide is. There we go. Let's send the request to Agentic AI. And let's see what happens now. So here it is. We have the text translated already. Quick look in the very first sentence when we had quick start guide. Here the translation is very literal. So it says literally quick start, but that's not what we use in Polish. In the text translated by AI pipeline, we had the correct phrase, which is here. So it was translated as abbreviated manual. That's the wording we usually use here. But Agentic AI chose a little bit more literal version, which is not perfect. But apart from that, it did follow my terminology. I can have a quick look. Here was the battery pack. It was translated correctly. We had here disk brakes, for example. Again, it's the correct translation according to my glossary. And the same goes for the other two terms, for torque sensor and for the assist mode. One interesting thing what Agentic AI did, it translated some terms differently. So, for example, and here it didn't follow my style guide. So I said translate push button, tap button, or touch button as press button, as push the button, and here it used literally touch the button. So this is one case when it didn't follow my style guide, which happened in the AI pipeline. It was translated as I wanted in my style guide. In Agentic AI, no. Also Agentic AI used different terms. So here's an example. It used a different phrase for this brake levers. So there are two different terms, and each workflow chose a different term. One more interesting thing that Agentic AI chose to do in this Polish translation is that we have this informal pronouns, you, informal you, it's here, so it chose a capital letter. So it's something we use normally in letters or emails, not in manuals. So AI pipeline kept the lowercase, Agentic AI used capitalized letters. So there are small differences.
Yeah, it sounds like that the AI pipeline is a lot more appropriate when you want to set the guardrails a lot tighter.
Yes. So it really follows your instructions more accurately than other workflows. So the translation with Agentic AI, it wasn't bad. It was still a very good translation. It just there were some minor issues, such as, well, style guide wasn't followed correctly, and also some terms weren't really tailored to my target audience. There were some difference in the choice of wording. So the AI pipeline in this case created more contextually relevant translation. And of course we had a very short text here. And the longer the text, the longer the glossary, and the longer the style guide, then the more differences we will see. So both were good translations.
How much time difference would you say there is between AI pipeline and Agentic AI?
Yeah, so in this case it was only 200 words. So AI pipeline took like 3 minutes to go through all the steps, and Agentic AI was about 30 seconds. So it is a big difference, but we also can see better quality and higher accuracy. So if better quality and better accuracy is your priority, then it's worth waiting for the results.
Yeah.
And now for the one of the most appreciated features, which is transparency. There's one more app that comes with the AI pipeline, which is AI pipeline logs. You can find it under the tools tab here. So the thing is, so many clients kept asking, what is AI actually doing in this process? What prompt is being used, or what corrections were made? So that's why we have the AI pipeline logs. You can find answers to all these questions. So it shows you the entire process step by step. So you can have a look at the prompt. You can see what AI did, what was corrected, what was the output. You can see the token usage as well. So it's a very handy tool for more transparency. And here again, we have all the batches and all the steps with prompts again. So it's a very good idea. It's a very good tool if you want to do some debugging, right? So it's an extremely useful tool.
And if a client calls you back with any kind of complaint on a particular translation, you have an easy way to go check what the engine actually did and how it processed the translation. You can come up with a justification for the choice of push button because you instructed it to keep it that way throughout. Very well.
Yeah, I can
I'm
see
impressed.
I can see what AI did in every single step. And even though the pipeline uses multiple steps, it's not 5 times more expensive. So only the first step produces a full translation, and then all following steps only return small differences. So that's why the token cost is low. So it's not that we pay much more for every step. No, only we pay for the differences between every step. So you get higher quality without exponential cost, and that's I think very good information here. The pipeline is of course not ideal for every use case. It's not ideal for if you want to use it for instant AI suggestions in the editor. That's not the best way to use it because it's simply too slow for that. But it's a perfect tool, for example, for production-ready pre-translation. It's good for UI localization with a lot of screenshots and context. It could also be useful for large documents and for content where terminology and style guide has to be followed precisely. And of course, as always, we recommend to have linguists in this workflow. Well, to sum up, I'd say that Crowdin AI pipeline is more reliable than other methods we discussed earlier in other episodes. It follows your instructions more accurately. It's more transparent because we have this AI pipeline logs application, and it's also more configurable. So you have more control over the process, and there are also fewer hallucinations and fewer inconsistencies.
And you touched upon it a little bit. I just want to ask you that one more time. As far as costs is concerned, do you think that AI pipeline is comparable to the agentic AI workflows, or it's going to cost a little bit more because it takes longer and there's more interaction with the large language model?
I didn't compare how many tokens it used in both scenarios.
Okay.
I guess it's slightly bit more expensive because it goes through more steps, although it only adds extra costs for the difference between the steps. But still, in return, we have better quality and more accuracy.
Yeah. Very well. Nice presentation, Dorota. This is very impressive stuff, and I'm sure that translators are going to be very interested in testing these functionalities out. Maybe we can end with another reminder for people that we are still very actively looking for people to participate in the Language Wizard Circle. That's a user group that meets every month and tests these new Crowdin features on a regular basis and before they're actually released in production, so to speak. And so if you're interested in helping us test these newest AI features and getting a little bit of a free ride along the way as well, because we give you access to all the features, please let us know, and we'd love to hear from you. We have a really nice group of translators already that meets with us every month, but more is better. So if you're interested, let us know. Dorota, thank you so very much for this wonderful presentation. I'm sure this is going to raise lots of interest in the localization world, and I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next month with some more exciting Crowdin Power Up functionalities. And until then, have a wonderful holiday season.